Hey everybody, good morning. This is Mr. Vaisaki. This is another installment of the daily videos that we're going to have for the next few weeks. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're getting some reading done. I hope you're writing every day. And I sincerely hope that you're spending some time getting your mind right for when we are back together in classes together. Now, the daily thematic topic for today, they are complex relationships. We can think about romantic complex relationships. We can also think about platonic or just friendship based relationships. I have a couple examples that I want to go over with you. I have 3 recommended poems that you can find on the assignment. You should take a look at A Lecture Upon the Shadow by Donne. You should also take a look at A- by Samuel Menashe, and also Every Single Day by Straley. Now, each one of these poems from the respective poets, they talk about some type of complex relationship, whether they are romantic, dealing with somebody that you have those affectionate feelings for, or they might also address just a platonic relationship, somebody who you consider a friend, maybe in the same way or a little bit different from the friends that you have at Churchill or just in your community. Now, we're thinking about complex relationships. Why are they so important? Why do they play such a big role in poetry? And why have we been talking about them for such a long time? Now, we're thinking about complex relationships. They're so important because I think we all have them. When you're in love with somebody, to go ahead and use that word, things can get complicated. You have to deal with a lot. You have to deal with your feelings about whether you truly like the person enough to make that commitment, but at the same time, you have to spend all of these moments getting to know one another so you can truly find out what type of person are they. For platonic relationships, that might not be as high stakes as telling somebody, my confession is that I love you, but regardless, we have a friendship with somebody. You spend time around them. Maybe your friendship is because of a sport that both of you played. Maybe it's from a class that both of you are in. You were forced to sit next to one another, and then you become friends as a result. When we have these friendships, we give up small pieces of ourselves so other people can understand us, where we're coming from, what we're interested in, and what we see out of the world if we were in that perfect situation and everything was going our way. So for friendships, even though they may not seem as high stakes as romantic relationships, it's still a complex relationship because we are taking something from ourselves and giving it to another person. Now there's 2 examples I want to talk about. I want to think about Shakespeare a little bit. If we go back all the way to that final week we were in classes together, we took a look at a few sonnets by Shakespeare. I'm going to keep referencing Shakespeare as we're going through everything because he helps me make my point that some aspects of human existence is so important that we've been writing about these same topics for hundreds, if not thousands of years, if we take into consideration all the different types of writing. Now, I want you to think about Shakespeare for a little bit. Maybe we could think about the play Romeo and Juliet. This is an example of a complex romantic relationship. Maybe you found yourself in a similar situation to the 2 main characters. You are crushing on somebody, you like them, you want to let them know that you like them, but then all of a sudden, when you share those feelings with one another, you might feel like things are about to finally work out. Other people get involved. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your friends, maybe it's everybody else around you, teachers, people like that. And they're telling you, no, this relationship isn't going to work. And that could be hard because in that romantic relationship, it might seem so simple that you have feelings for another person, and if you reciprocate those feelings, everything should work out. It's just an example from Shakespeare that when you have those feelings for one another, Most often, that relationship becomes complex because other people get involved and they tell you what they think you should feel, they tell you what they think you should think, and they try to make you go to the person that they think is perfect for you. Now, for a group of eighth graders, I don't have any recommendations for romantic complex relationships. But as you take a look at the recommended reading, I think you will quickly realize that we have been dealing with these same issues or topics for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Shakespeare, he wrote about romantic complex relationships. He also wrote about, for my second and final example, about platonic or complex friendships. We can take a look at his work, Julius Caesar. It is a historical play, and it talks about a moment in history that was completely determined by the friendship between Julius Caesar, Marcus Brutus, Cassius, and Decimus Brutus. Between these four male individuals in ancient Rome, they were in a situation where their friendships with one another would determine the fate for thousands, if not millions, of citizens. They are in these friendships where they determine what politics would be discussed, what military engagements they would participate in, and how they would govern and rule their country and their kingdoms. Now, thinking about Shakespeare plays, things don't always go the way we want them to go. We have this play about male friendship where these men, they share with one another, but then ultimately they start conspiring against one another. We can think about friendships that maybe you've had where you're in a group of friends and then sometimes, unfortunately, things become a little fragmentary. People break apart, maybe the friendship group, becomes smaller or bigger because people are leaving or new people are entering. This has been happening since the beginning of time. It's so important for us to think about this that Shakespeare has written an entire play about it and many other of his plays, if you take a look at them. But we're thinking about complex relationships for today. To wrap things up, you've been in them, I've been in them. We all have examples that we could take a look at to help us understand the daily thematic topic. So again, take a look at A Lecture Upon the Shadow by John Donne. Take a look at A- by Samuel Menashe. And also take a look at Every Single Day by John Straley. I hope you're reading. I hope you're writing every single day. Take a look at all of your classes in Google Classroom so you have something academic to do every single day. And the final thought, everybody, I hope you're safe. I hope you're doing well. If you want to reach out, that could be through an email. Some of you have, and I do appreciate those of you who have reached out. And if you want to talk the best we can at face-to-face, we could set up a Google Hangout and we could sit down and talk about anything that you might be thinking about. I hope you have a good day, and I also hope that you get some reading and writing done at some point.